recording. Only 45 minutes late. Super. All right. So, having done that, I'm going to keep talking here while we're doing all these other things here. Nope, can't do that because we need that page. When we last left our heroes, Alex had just shouted to Kiln, "You can't go off by yourself. I can't help you get home if you're not with us." Something like that.
You can't get yourself killed. I can't get you home then.
Yeah. Which is good. And if I am not mistaken, that was going to lead directly into a provoke to see if we can get Kiln back on, if not the straight and narrow, at least the follow bloody orders, you crazy ancient warrior elf person. So, how about we begin with, oh wait, did you just do that? You just did it. It didn't beep at me.
Yeah.
I was confused.
I don't need to be prompted. I've been waiting for this for a week.
All right, that's fair. All right, so that is a 7. So provoke is a carrot or stick option. So the carrot is, hey, Kiln, if you do this, team will go into the pool. Hey, Kiln, if you don't do this, something bad happens. You take a condition?
Take a condition.
Take a condition.
Yeah, if you don't do it, mark a condition, dude.
Yeah, so is that what you're picking, the stick option?
That's what I'm picking.
All right. So, again, this is why I love provoke. Kiln, do whatever you want. Just understand that if you don't do kind of the explicitly meta level statement here is please come back to us. That is the thing. If you do that thing, nothing bad happens. If you continue on your merry way, you take a condition due to shoving aside your teammates' words. And you've already taken guilty, so then you start feeling really bad. What do you think?
Unlike Bill, while having a week to prepare this, I forgot about it until, today. So thanks for having the technical difficulties.
You're welcome, I guess.
I honestly think that Alex's words just pull Kiln up short.
Okay.
There can be the comedy moment of this causing them to fall out of the tree, but I do stop and follow along.
Okay. So yeah, like stopping so abruptly that you kind of have to pinwheel and probably even drop down to a lower branch rather clumsily, and hopefully nobody saw that. Is there any muttering to yourself along those lines, or are you just like heading back? Like what's the? I mean, are you saying something, doing something, responding to them, body language, or is it just like this kind of facial expression and then you're heading back? Like what's your other than the abrupt change? Yeah, Alex might. Did anybody see that? Well, other than all the drones. Other than what you already gave me, which I realize I'm asking for yet more things, but any other tell there with regards to your action? Are you frustrated about it, or just kind of resigned to it, or just kind of snapping back out of your sort of fixation?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of pass it back over to Alex because I feel that Alex's words brought me out of the fixation of I need to defeat this thing versus actually listening to what they were saying with their orders.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. So you're headed back. Alex is headed towards, quote unquote, everybody else. Roddy is in a somewhat precarious position. He's, 3-point stance on a tree branch there, having flipped out of what was potentially a kind of Venus flytrap plant-based capturing type of situation, but the vines and stuff seems to be at least to extent, and it's not the trees, it's other stuff in the trees. Like I say, vines and stuff. Was it endomorphic, something like that? The trees the plant life that grows on other trees, that kind of stuff. Sort of parasitic plant life, or symbiotic, I guess, if you're going to be kind. Stuff. You're not sure. You kind of slept through most of it.
Parasitic.
Yeah, you kind of slept through a lot of that stuff. And technically, ironically, that's what the strangler figs are. But these are not this is other stuff growing on them. Roddy, I don't know whether or not you know all that stuff, even kind of slept through science, didn't sleep through science, actually paid attention. Who knows? You might. You would.
Evil plant. Got it.
Evil plant. Got it. Coming your way. You can hear Joe approach. Joe will be here in about 4.5 seconds. Met's, did we say sort of gravity bounding? But she's sort of, you would guess, probably unfamiliar with the territory. She'll be here in about 8 seconds. By then, the plants will already be there. Plants are going to get here about a second after Joe gets here. What do you do?
Well, I know I'm not going to be able to hurt these things. However, they seem strong, so hopefully these things can hurt these things.
Okay.
So, as Joe's coming, I'm going to yell to him, because I assume plants can't hear. Joe, help me get these things to hit each other.
Okay. So you're trying to get them to sort of interfere with one another. Yeah, I feel like this is directly engaging. Is that where we're going with this thing? We want to get this thing? Okay, yeah. In the very Roddy-like way that one directly engages, which is to say indirectly engages and get the bad guys to trip over themselves. Okay, so let's have a danger roll. And with Joe coming right there, a few seconds away, Roddy calling it out, should it be necessary, obviously very easy for team to be spent on this particular thing, should it become necessary.
All right. Would you say that I'm standing strong while dramatically under fire?
I'm going to throw this back at you.
I mean, they are attacking me.
Yes, they are. You are The only, yeah, the only question is the standing strong thing, because the standing strong to me is like, that bullets are raining down and you're just like cool and calm in the midst of it. And this is, I don't know if this is, I'm overreading it. This is more of the Spider-Man dancing, or flipping around, making the goons punch each other kind of thing. So I don't know if it's this. Staying strong is an earthbender maneuver, and you're doing more of an airbender maneuver, and whatever. But if you think so, then yeah.
If it was Batman doing it, how would you classify it?
If it was Batman doing it,
Yeah, if it was Batman maneuvering his foes to hit each other, would that be standing strong?
I don't know.
Because
That's why I
Batman
threw it back at that's why I threw it back at Mike, because I didn't know. I'm kind of
I'm gonna say yes.
okay. Go ahead.
Because if I kind of have to sit there and like, I guess if I have to contextualize it as Roddy like standing up to somebody, I don't think I'm ever going to actually use that move.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. You are deeply engaging. You're definitely strongly physically engaging the bad guy and diving into that craziness. So I am behind you all the way. What does that do? This is the second dimension.
I just get to use savior instead of danger.
Okay, savior it up then. Do the thing. And it's the one. Because of course it is. All right. So for that, is it two picks off the pick list?
2 things.
Roll danger on a hit, on a 10. Pick 2. What do you got? What are you going for?
I'm gonna resist or avoid their blows.
Okay.
Because that seems like the easy one.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say create an opportunity for my allies, because now they're like probably tangled up in each other, or what have you.
Yeah. If nothing else, they may not be actually. I mean, no, they are physically damaging one another, but at least in the narrative sense of it. Give me 1 second. I got to grab a sheet of. Oh wait, do I? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Nope, that's definitely not the thing I need. Yeah, I'll be right back. Hang on 1 second.
I think the trees are causing our technical problems.
Not to worry. Their bark is worse than
I was literally sitting here thinking of a way to work that pun into the session.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
yeah. In case you
Yeah,
haven't
but-
twigged that already.
That doesn't get to the root of the issue.
Maybe we need to branch out from the subject.
There we go. All right.
Or if you can go with another pun, you'll certainly bowl me over.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so Roddy, what do you? Is this? Did I assume correctly by saying it's sort of like the flipping around, dodging hither and yon while they interfere with each other, or is it more of a ground bound thing where you're sort of running and rolling and dodging around tree boles, or what are we physically seeing from you?
No, he's probably like running around, like using that time in to kind of like stop to let one of them like rush past Roddy to like slam into another one.
Got you. Okay. So yeah, it's almost entirely vines. Kind of a deep, rich, kind of leathery green, um, like some crappy old Naugahyde, like the kind of green you would get like a weird kind of faux leather Naugahyde recliner from the 70s, kind of color green. And they can't hear, probably. They can't speak, but you definitely get a sense of rage, frustration. Something, the air becomes tenser, hotter, heavier. The humidity, almost like the humidity and the warmth in the undergrowth here, like almost, it's like stepping from a, not that it was particularly cool in the first place, it's like stepping from an air conditioned building out into the heat, of summer. That kind of like sudden shift in temperature and intensity, and it just but not really physical, almost at an emotional level is how you're feeling it. They stop mostly trying to get at you, and you hear this sort of creaking and pulling and yanking, like tearing sound of earth tearing and plants and branches breaking and that kind of thing. And these vines that are like spread out really through the canopy and all around through this area are constricting and contracting and seem to be pulling trees over, like they're squeezing together, and all the trees kind of in a pretty big area, 50, 60 yards, are being pulled in toward your area, like pulled in from above, so that they're all going to like kind of collapse in on this area. Joe, you see this. Let me rephrase this in a way that I think Joe would probably look at things. Roddy has managed to piss the plant life off enough that apparently the forest would rather kill itself by throwing it on top of him rather than let him get away with whatever annoying thing he is doing. So
Joe empathizes with.
I was going to say, there's a moment of empathy with the forest right here. Because the from your vantage point, it's almost as though parts of the forest are just like suiciding onto him, but like these trees are just going to collapse on him, kind of thing. It's possible that you quickly realize it's not all of them. It's certain aspects of the undergrowth and stuff like that. But that is happening. These vines are basically tearing down the forest around Roddy in an effort to crush him, destroy the annoyance, kill the interloper, something. What do you do?
Well, I thought I was going to do one thing, then I thought I was going to have to do another thing. And
now I'm pondering a third thing.
Well, my initial thought was, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to defend my rival.
Still
it also
is.
occurs to me, if I can hit this thing hard enough, I can effectively do that thing anyway by taking something like its mobility away from it. So given that Joe still has a serious mat on, even if he does feel a little bit guilty,
Sure.
This sounds like a great time for him to go pure
Rage Beast.
In a China shop, direct engage.
Okay.
Basically, whether it's nasty vines or innocent pieces of wood, Joe's gonna hurl himself into this and tear it all apart.
Okay. You say in it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm good with that. Directly engage the threat. Blah, blah, blah. Roll danger, which you seem to be pretty good at right now.
I very nearly think I do. And because it's for my rival, I still get a +1.
And I can assist if needed.
I don't think that's going to be necessary. I'm seeing a full head. I did manage to, sneak you up to a 10 with that extra +1 there. Very nice. Okay,
So with the
go ahead. With
I
the
get to
directly
pick
engaged, gives you
3.
3, yeah. Because of your bull in
Um,
the China shop thing. That,
So
unfortunately, will have consequences. But
I
go right ahead.
want to take their mobility.
Can we say
From
like
them.
sort of their grip on the trees kind of thing? Because mobility is not
Sure.
really. I mean, they are
And that may be in
plants.
part that the trees have that so at least some of the trees have themselves been smashed.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely happening. That's part of the collateral damage again, where you're back on. And Roddy, I'd say for a little bit, like Joe's just gone back into full on. They appear at first glance, it looks like Joe's gone back into full on just smash the trees mode, and he kind of has, but more for at least more to a purpose at this point. So that's fine. What is the? Oh, afraid makes you bad at directly engage. Gotcha. Anyway,
Time for
All right.
some fists on the hips, smiling, being like, "Yeah, I knew this was a good plan."
So grabbing great handfuls of the vines, ripping, tearing, smashing trees, before they can go completely over. So I mean, yeah, some of them are still tumbling and that kind of thing. But
So the other two things I want to take from direct engage, I will avoid their blows,
okay,
and I'm going to take Roddy away from them.
you grab them and throw them again.
Yeah. Just to keep them safe.
I love the idea of like,
Before you do that, though,
yeah.
at least if I'm like, "Yeah, I knew this was a good plan," at least
I'll
follow up.
let you say that first.
Yeah, well, at least let me set me up at the throw me the pitch. What plan? Oh, this was this is Dr. Frith's class last week. Nemean Lion. Thing can't be hurt, can only be hurt by itself.
Yeah, whatever.
Grab, throw. I love the idea of you like being standing there all cocksure, like hands on hips, looking self-satisfied, and then be like, "Oh, woo!" What was the reference? Doctor Who? Which one?
Frith?
Firth? Is that that's
Applied
the
Mythology.
applied
Station.
mythology guy? Oh, the thing that can only be hurt by itself. Gotcha. I'm caught up now. I'm sorry.
No. The funny thing would have been if somebody had asked Roddy, has been like, "You were paying attention during class?" It's like, "Yeah, wasn't this like training us to fight stronger things?" I know it was like some really strong guy fighting it.
As long as he can socket it into somehow with the superheroing, then he pays attention. Oh, I see. Applied mythology means applied to combat. Gotcha. Roddy, neat. Joey, yeet. I like it. All right.
Going to combat. Gotcha. Don't get too close to the sun.
What? That's pretty good. I like it. I like it. I like it. Joe, so you're smashing, not taking any hits, remove Roddy from them, removing their grip on the trees. Okay. You are. I mean, this feels good. Like there's actually, and I'm going to actually let you remove angry because one of the ways you remove angry is by smashing stuff. Like that's actually the action taken. And it's not obviously every single time you punch somebody, angry goes away. But since you're doing collateral damage, I think that probably it starts to feel good. You're getting some of this out of your system. You're actually
Hurt
making
someone or break something important.
yes, important. That's a key element there. So, oh God, boy, now I got to open up another window. Okay, pray for me. Okay, so it feels good because you're actually making some kind of headway. You're making some kind of impact. It's not just flailing around and finding that I mean, a lot of times you're this big, powerful, strong thing that everyone seems quite convinced is either a great danger or going to be a great help or at least remarkable, blah, blah, blah. You should definitely go be a superhero. Most of the times it feels like you're trying to land a punch on a butterfly. Not just in combat, like with all your things. Like every conversation you have, everything, there's this sort of level of frustration of not having any kind of fine control or ever really landing the hit. Not in the satisfactory fashion. This is not that. This is very definitely landing the hit in a very satisfying, really feeling like you're doing something good, something successful and satisfying. It is. It's funny that I just said landing a hit on a butterfly. Oh my God, that's super funny. Probably not to anybody but me, but it will be in a second. Anyway, or maybe that's the thought that's in the back of your mind as you're doing this, which would be fun. Making sure I'm grabbing the right. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start dropping images into the Roll20 screen. Because I want to be able to convey the what's the word I'm looking for? Diversity. So I will sort them in a moment here, but give me a second as I drag these things in here. And some of this, Matt, you're closing in here, so you're seeing like he's smashing around. Although it seems to be, it's kind of hard. Like, oh, he's smashing. Oh no, he's lost it again. Oh no, wait, he's helping Roddy. Then Roddy comes sailing back the other direction. Well, okay, is he saving Roddy? So that's all kind of happening, and the flurry of leaves and oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to do at all. Did that? What? Hang on. Sorry. Somehow I managed to lose the Roll20 screen. Super. see if I can find a couple other good ones here while I'm looking. No. Good Lord. All right, let's try this one more time. Yeah, that'll work. And this will work. All right. So the leaves are flying around, branches flying around, wood, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Some of the leaves are very brightly colored, and as you're looking, Matt, you're realizing that they're not leaves. They're this multicolored flurry of what looked like plant life and stuff. It's actually like this coalescing. I was going to say massive, but it isn't massive immediately because it's gathering. Kind of coalescing cloud tornado of butterflies. That are, as you watch, landing on Joe as he's smashing about and doing what he's doing. Which is fine and curious and interesting and stuff, but they keep coming, and they just keep coming out of every nook and cranny, out of the out from underneath every bush, flapping. You think of butterflies as being sort of a insect type of thing, some of them flying really much like birds and anything else, and then just simply landing on Joe. And landing until basically you can't see Joe because he gets wearing this iridescent coat of flapping butterfly wings. Or now they're flapping because they begin to flap and against all logic, against all reason, against really what butterflies should be able to do, are lifting him into the air. And it's the most bizarre, one of the most bizarre things you could really imagine, because they're not just lifting him, they're like letting him flail about. So when he swings his arms, they just kind of go with it. So he doesn't have any push off on anything. He's meant to you, it looks like he's in 0G with no anchor point. That's the illusion that they've effectively created in this, with what they're doing. Yeah, I see these pictures. The one from the Croods, I personally approve of. But no, they're not. Oh God, that is a disturbing picture of the meat-eating butterflies. I'm getting a weird upload thing here. It's taking forever for one of these to load, which is funny because it's the one that I want to load the most. In any case, are you guys still there? Because everyone's got real quiet.
Yes.
Okay, thank God. All right, so Joe's kind of like, he's basically, yeah, whenever he kicks or flails or anything like that, he's just like basically been born aloft. And I'm reminded, there was this man, I wasn't a big comic reader when I was a kid. I really wasn't, because I lived in South Dakota. It was hard to get my hands on it. But I do remember this one scene with Dr. Octopus versus the Hulk, where Doc just absolutely beats the crap out of the Hulk, because he manages to get his arms, two of his arms, on the Hulk's arms and get him off the ground. And whenever the Hulk pulls, Doc Ock just gives. Like, he doesn't fight it. So since he can't move anywhere, he can't get any kind of like momentum to act against it. So he basically holds them essentially immobile by not fighting him and just holding him in midair. The old kung fu idea of like if you can get a sparrow to land on your hand and your reaction time is perfect and light and perfectly at ease, the bird will never be able to take off because it never has enough push off to get off your finger. And then he uses his other two arms to beat the living crap out of him. Which is whatever the writers needed. And it's sort of like that. You've seen a lot of weird stuff. You've heard a lot about weird stuff. Your friends can do a lot of weird stuff. This seems like a level beyond weird, though. Physics, just that's a lot for butterflies to be able to pick up off the ground. What do you do? Because it seems, aside from it being like, why is Joe being carried into the sky by butterflies? Or being carried off the ground by butterflies, but also it's like this is just plain weird. I cannot get over watching these this swarm of things like skeletonize a cow. Makes me pretty happy. Anyway, so Matt, what you doing? Now you're all very quiet.
He's trying to talk. She's trying to talk, but
Can't
I'm not
talk.
hearing anything.
Butterflies. Oh, they're in my eyes again. Steven Universe quote. Butterfly-based Steven Universe quote.
She's trying to get it fixed.
I'm just going to watch these butterflies debone or skeletonize this cow a bunch. That's fine. I've got lots to look at. Also, I'm going to see if this image ever actually loaded. It did! Look at that. All right, let me... Oh, the eyeball one. Okay, now I got to make all these a lot smaller. This would have been easier if I'd have used...
I cannot hear you.
Oh my God, no, it's catching.
I cannot hear you. Maybe try undoing the dongle and plugging it back in.
We have been
True.
smoten with a mighty technical difficulty evening.
Nope. And I know you were talking. You were working earlier.
I blame the butterflies.
So I would pull the dongle and plug it back in and let the headset try to reset to the drivers. Okay.
Sometimes Discord gets really stupid about what the primary sound device is. So I'm maybe shutting it off too. Am I going out of Discord and back in again?
No.
Anyway, can't mess with the. But I was expecting to have a bigger screen to mess with all this, but I can't right now. So it's fine.
Sorry. I'm
No,
using
there you
Dave's
are.
headphones.
It's fine.
No, I'm on Dave's headphones. Not mine are stuck on mute for some reason.
It is annoying. Okay, so you're on Dave's headphones. That's okay. So weirdly, Joe is borne aloft by butterflies.
Yeah, I could hear you the whole time.
Yeah.
You
No,
couldn't
I'm
hear
just
me.
I'm just reframing the thing. So or restating the thing. It's odd. Like your brain just refuses to accept the physics of it. Not in this gravity well kind of reaction. What do you do?
Well, somebody stole my line while I was on mute, which was, Palamedes, no.
I didn't hear that.
And I'm
So
going to.
so you've made
Sorry,
the.
what did you say?
I didn't hear anybody say that. So
No. I'm seeing it in the text from Mike.
oh.
It was me. I was the one.
I see.
So basically, I'm looking at defending Joe, and they may be preventing Joe from being able to, you know, establish something to push against, but that's not going to stop me from pushing them.
That works for me.
So
Okie
just
doke.
pushing the whole mass down.
All right.
Because
So let's have a defend roll, which may be you going back over to. Maybe you going back over to your computer or not. I think actually.
no, I'm here.
Yeah.
We're wireless.
Oh, right. Yes. Roll Savior, 8. All right. So with the defend, I believe that puts you, potentially puts you, there's a couple different options here. When you defend someone, 7-9, it costs you. You can either expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
Well, Joe is already flying, so I don't know how much more the situation can escalate.
Oh, don't say that.
Elevate.
Elevate, yeah. Depends on which, yeah.
I'm not sure that I'm reading this right. So what am I giving Joe with this?
Defend would defend someone or something from an immediate threat. Roll Savior. Basically, you would give him a way of sort of breaking loose from this immobilizing effect. You would.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because it was like add to the pool, take influence, or clear condition didn't really make sense.
Oh, right. You pick one of those options. You can either take influence over Joe, which would let you shift labels, basically. Put another point of team into the pool, or you can clear a condition. Wait. Yes.
I can't hear you, dear.
Which,
Yeah,
me?
actually, I don't have an influence over Joe right now.
Oh, right. So you would get influence back over Joe.
But what does he get? He gets a plus.
He gets to not be immobilized.
That's what I'm not understanding.
He gets to be not immobilized by a cloud of butterflies.
Okay.
He,
It's just written a little bit weird.
well, defend is usually for something like, I'm going to protect him from getting punched in the throat. In this case, you're sort of breaking him free, which maybe that's more of a directly engage thing where you say, I'm going to take Joe away from them kind of thing, but I'm fine with having it stand as a defend.
Okay. Okay.
So you defend.
So then I'll take influence back over Joe.
Okay.
And then I will probably expose myself to danger.
Okay. So the effect that, I mean, the butterflies were doing something. but they certainly weren't doing all of it. There was more at work there, and you felt as you're sort of like giving Joe the gravity he needed to get like a foot down, a hand down, somewhere, something to pull himself loose from that thing. You felt like an effect not wholly unlike your own, really. Sort of. That was doing some of the lifting on him that you were having to fight against. And it's about when you realize this and you see Joe kind of give himself one good sharp lurch. He doesn't get all the butterflies off of him, but he certainly gets gives himself enough of a grab and a yank to throw himself sort of clear of whatever effect was keeping him aloft, and he goes tumbling, I say, in more of a gymnastics gorilla sense rather than, being smacked and bouncing along the undergrowth. Sort of away, and you feel this field sort of likewise come upon you. Different though, it's not trying to bear you aloft, but you're all the sound in the area kind of goes echoey and hollow. Trying to think what would remind you, what this would remind you of.
You like being underwater?
Kind of. There's so back on the generation ship, there's sort of like emergency vac bubbles. Everybody's drilled on them. And if you can't get to a proper vac suit in the event of, everybody drills on these things, if you can't get to a proper vac suit in the event of some sort of explosive decompression kind of thing, you can basically throw yourself at these modules on the wall and they sort of envelop you in sort of a lozenge. Basically plastic. They're not permanent, they don't last very long, and they are basically plastic. They have to be recycled. So it's almost like the old like inflatable rafts that would like burst out into raft mode. Really, it's like that kind of effect, but around you. And then when they're done, they sort of melt down in the goo, and you feed the goo back into the thing, and it basically, you reload the cylinder that's meant to dispense these things so that it doesn't run out of material, because where are you going to get more of that stuff? In any case, being inside of that thing where you're essentially on a finite oxygen supply, what's in the bubble, and completely, in sort of a hard bubble, isolated from other stuff, had that same kind of weird, like I'm in a jar acoustic sound as what's happened to you. You don't see that effect, but you do see kind of that warping distortion around you, like a weird kind of bending to like if you look straight ahead, you're fine, but if you kind of like look straight ahead, what you're seeing out of your periphery is kind of warped and bent, like you're seeing the edges of a lens or something. So you're inside of like a lozengey sort of thing. It's not it's not trying to bear you aloft. It's basically locked you into this thing. Now you still kind of hear, you can still hear, so you hear that kind of, again, kind of that watery distortion. As a female voice says, oh crap, I need to get the name right. 1 second. There are 100 times, I think it's 100 times. It's 100 something. There are hundreds more species of butterflies in the tiny country of Costa Rica than in all the continent of Africa, Joseph Moore. you should exercise some caution before you arouse the ire of the place. Why are you here and why are you what? Why? Yeah. Why are you here and why are you harming this? Actually, that's where they stop. Why are you here and why are you harming? Voice is kind of flat. Female. Weirdly, like it has the timbre of a younger woman, but at the same time, just emotionally very flat. Certainly does not sound happy. I don't know. Does anybody know, Joe? Does anybody know on the team know your original last name before all the stuff?
I do.
Alex does. And you guys are all hearing this. So as you're clearing, Alex, you're coming in, Kiln, you're coming in, and you're hearing this different thing. And go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm sorry. So we all heard that,
It's loud enough.
or did Met hear? Okay.
Met heard it. It's loud. It's I would say loud. It's projected
Margie.
rather powerfully
think so.
acoustically through like this area, and nobody's very far away at this point in time. Alex can see a lot of is getting close enough to see a lot of what's happening. Rodney's he's on a branch kind of overlooking this stuff. He's up a bit, actually quite a bit up. But Joe really wanted to get you. Joe was really taking care of you, Roddy. He really got you up high away from all possible danger. Such a great guy. So you're up a bit. Alex, you're coming in and you hear somebody here say something about butterfly statistics for Costa Rica, which checks out. It's got over a third of the biodiversity on the planet kind of locked away in this one country the size of West Virginia. Although what that has to do with anything, you're not sure. You see some butterflies around, but you're not exactly sure. You didn't catch that levitation trick. Met seems to be in some kind of opalescent energy field thingy. Joe's looking about. Kiln, you're closing in. Kiln, you... We're gonna kind of switch to Alex and Kiln because they haven't done anything much, and I want to make sure that doesn't continue. Kiln, I don't want to say that you recognize the voice, but you definitely recognize it. It definitely gives you a really crazy sense of deja vu. The tone and timbre, auditory delivery of the thing. So it isn't like with your captain friend that was a giant stone thingy, where it's like you actually knew the guy, but it's definitely that same kind of spine tingling frisson of deja vu and recognition. Frisson. Now there's a word. Anyway. So Alex is a little bit closer. So I say kind of, I'll start off with that. What do you do? There's certainly information to gather, things, more data to collect, tactically speaking. Matt doesn't seem to be in any immediate danger, but obviously being stuck in a lozenge is not awesome. All that kind of stuff. So, what are you doing?
So I'll be honest, it's really hard to hear you because of all the static.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so what I got from this was that Matt's in a bubble and there's a lot going on. Mostly I'm just focused on the larger intelligence gathering thing here, which is what the fuck is attacking us? What's motivating it? Where's its command center? So I'm just trying to figure all those things out.
Gotcha. Assess the situation. Does that sound I'm sorry that they're static. I'm making the days.
No, that's how it is. It's nothing to do.
We're gonna work on this guy.
I-
All right,
I,
Bill
I
Rose.
will I will comment. I will pass on the comment that was also something that Matt had wanted to do in the
Okay, we can absolutely get to
with
that.
our 21st century studies, but
No, we can get the 21st century thing for sure because that'll. I just want to get Bill rounding about here. Joe's gotten busted free by Matt, so we're kind of round robining our way through bits and pieces, assessing the situation. Bill, options. I'm going to try to keep my statements relatively concise so we can get to that.
So what here is the biggest threat?
You are getting a heat signature, energy signature. I'm going to say it's warmer than the forest. Hang on. I'm getting it for you. Got to grab the right thing. There is a humanoid form in the undergrowth, in amongst all this chaos, that seems to be doing whatever is being done to Met and possibly doing whatever was previously being done to Joe. They are, yeah, they're kind of, they're not immediately available, immediately visible to most folks, but with your drones and what I imagine is a spectrum of sensors and that sort of thing, you can definitely sort of pinpoint that person and the fact that they are really more of a power signature kind of thing. There's a lot of energy there. I'm just going to put that kind of broadly speaking. There's a lot of energy there. You're getting more of an
Sounds
outline.
good.
Anything else? I'm not going to give you particulars as far as appearance and that kind of thing. So,
No, that's fine. The second question is, who here is the most vulnerable to me? I guess I want to repurpose that question a little bit to say, like, what's the best avenue? Actually, yeah, I guess we could just say, how can we best end this quickly? Like, what's my game plan here?
thinking like a soldier. They haven't, whoever this is has not attacked. You don't think. They're holding Matt. They were holding Joe. They're not using lethal attacks. Probably you don't want them to. There is a hell of an energy signature coming off of this thing. De-escalate?
Okay.
And
I'm going to call out to the team distance and direction to this target, and I'm going to say to Kill and Roddy, who are currently free as far as I know, come on with me. Let this force switch focus on Met and Joey for right now.
I've been asked to ask you if this is separate from the plants that we're attacking
yes.
in terms of the physical location given.
Yeah, the plants were sort of everywhere, and they were definitely not being like yanked around with some sort of gravitic claw. They were self-motivated. The butterflies seem to be working in concert with this thing. but the plants seem to be a different. And just to solidify that a little bit more, the vines. There's a couple of spots here where the vines are like sort of creeping back and kind of trying to rally, and the butterflies are setting upon them. In a sense of, well, actually that gift that James put up there, of the deboned like livestock, not exactly like that, but they're setting upon this thing and doing something to those plants that's causing them to wither. So whatever the plant thing is, that ain't this thing. They still don't seem very happy with you, but it doesn't seem to be the same for the same reason. He's complicated. All right, so Bill, I need to, and that's to Met, because Met, you can see this kind of stuff. Looking around, you can see, like, it's the butterflies are fighting the plants, and the plants were fighting Roddy. And Joe smashed the plants, and then the butterflies got on him. But they're attacking the plants, so why would it be mad that he was attacking the... Wait, he smashed the trees. Oh. That's different. And I'll let Met kind of put all those puzzle pieces together while she's, looking at that. I need to clarify from Alex. So you're saying you've given out coordinates to who this person is. You guys,
and I want Rodney and Kilton with me. Yeah, like let's go have not a confrontation per se, but let's go have a conversation.
Conversation, all kind of thing. All right, so yeah, head over this way. All the blinking line of drones, something. And in the interest of expedience and the great technical difficulty, if Roddy and Kiln, if you are okay with that, I will simply have you three basically drop in front of this thing about 20 yards off, 10 to 20 yards off, kind of in front of it so you can sort of get to that bit. And give me just a second here. This is basically what you see, or the closest artist rendering I was able to immediately assemble, assuming it's not huge. There we go. So basically sort of what looks like stone, kind of a stone construct. This isn't really what I was looking for. For those of you who have seen sort of El Hazard, like that old anime that I love so much. If you were to take like sort of stone construction and combine it with Ifarita, you get something kind of like this. A little bit more beat up, a little bit more weathered, but the general idea here being this kind of stone thing. Kiln. It's a temple guardian. They're only ever referred to singularly because a temple only ever needs one. Ever. Usually, well, in your lifetime, in your previous lifetime, you only ever heard one speak like once or twice. Typically, they're dormant. They just kind of stand there, not doing anything, not interacting, until something untoward happens to its temple. And then usually there is a verbal remonstrance of some kind, and everything tends to subside at that point. All the trouble tends to decide that it would rather be someplace else. You've never actually seen one in action. You've just heard stories. Met as soon as, yeah, I'll go with that, Mike. Sure. Matt, as soon as Kiln drops in front of this thing, the bubble goes away. So, Alex shouts something, come with me, blah, blah, blah. And about 10 seconds later, the bubble just stops. And you drop whatever, the 3 inches that you were off the ground, back down to the ground. So fresh air, cool breeze, cool, relative, kind of thing. The technology for you is also somewhat familiar. So there's I think maybe moves there that let you kind of socket things into your knowledge of the world and that kind of thing that you should probably take a look at because it may be relevant there. So, Stone Girl, 10-15 foot in front of you, as you land, whirls, sees Kiln, eyes widen, and then kind of, I don't know, hand comes up, palms out. What kind of trick is this? A very, very flat, stern delivery. Dry wallet. Oh my God. Dry wallet. That's terrible. That's actually painfully terrible. All right. Any, Kim, Alex, Roddy.
If Kiln recognizes this thing, I'm letting them do the talking. So
The only thing I'm going to do is dumb, so I'm going to let people do things first.
Roddy, the only thing I'm going to do is dumb. So I'm glad that you recognize that.
I'm Roddy because, like, if it's a humanoid, he can fight that shit. I mean, I'm not worried about that. Like, Roddy versus butterflies is a lot less certain, but
Yeah. Butterfly's bad.
Now we start getting into, like, dust and whether or not I can kick up enough of it. I need